usually one of the first to arrive at school, but I don't mind because the car park's empty. I chose to teach at Pitmaston because I liked how it still had a nice warm homely feel despite it being the largest primary school in Worcester. It's funny, I still get those jitters every time I drive in like it's my first day. I'm just coming to the end of my first year of teaching and I've had the best time ever. I'm looking forward to coming back in September. Pitmaston Primary School has allowed me to flourish as a new teacher with all of the support in place, and it's great because I've made lots of friends. There are 3 other classrooms upstairs and I'm really lucky because my colleague's just over the hallway. We love having an at her over lunch and she's such a good support network to have so close by. I absolutely adore my classroom even though it's upstairs, which I don't mind really because I get the beautiful natural light coming in through the windows, plus I get to look out at the views over the park. Once I arrive, it's time to get straight into my morning routine. The most important job is looking over the lesson plans for the day, although no 2 days are the same, so you've got to be flexible to accommodate any changes that might arise. I like to look over everything before I send it to the printer, although sometimes the printer does seem to have a mind of its own. Arriving early means I don't have to queue for the printer. My teaching placements have taught me how to use all sorts of printers. I'm quite the expert now. Preparing resources before the school day has started means I'm not rushing around at break and lunchtime. Once printed, it's time to use the guillotine to cut around the edges so everything fits into the books. As my school's an eco school, all of the offcuts go straight into the recycling bin. Me and my colleagues look out for each other and I either print or chop so the job gets done quicker. I like sorting resources into little baskets so the children aren't wandering around the room, disrupting their learning. I've adopted a colour-coded system which works very well and keeps everything organised. The children also know where everything is in the room. Whenever I write the date upon the board, it takes me back to the moment when I used to play primary school teachers as a child with my cousins, who are the same age then as the children I teach now. I update the maths display with the relevant vocabulary that the children are going to need for the lesson. During my maths lesson, the children can refer to the board if they find themselves stuck. I feel well set up for the day and quite relaxed ahead of the children's arrival at 10 to 9. We have an interactive whiteboard. It's a great aid for all the lessons that we teach inside the classroom. The final moments are spent jotting down any last-minute notes or writing up ideas for future lessons. As I do a lot of talking throughout the day, it's good to keep hydrated. The children have responded well to a clear routine and I think it's the key to getting them into the classroom quietly. Routines ensure that all children are on task and no valuable learning time is wasted. My colour-coded system means children can find their way to their tables, they know which tray their book is in, and they can get their resources out of the matching baskets. Once the children are settled, I individually greet them with the register, and sometimes I get some very complimentary replies back.
Good afternoon, best teacher in the whole entire galaxy.
Oh my goodness, wow, I'm flattered. Good afternoon. The lesson begins by the children preparing their page with the date and the learning objective, neatly underlined with a ruler. Every maths lesson begins with the children copying 4 calculations off the interactive whiteboard. I call this exercise for the brain. The children are given 6 minutes to complete all 4 calculations, which revisits the skills that they've previously been taught. I like to balance out my time in the maths lesson between individual work and group work. This allows the children to think independently, but they know I'm there for support. The sound of silence means the children are engrossed in the task and there's an appropriate level of challenge. Watching children's expansion of knowledge is truly the most rewarding feeling in the world. By walking around the classroom, I can quickly gauge who needs my support, and this is where I offer my one-to-one help. Not all of the children need my help, but I like to check in with all of them at least once during the lesson. Once their calculations are complete, I encourage children to share their answers with the rest of the class. I've established a positive environment where all children feel able to share their answers with others by avoiding using the word no. Instead, I say, "You're on the right lines," or "Have another go," so the children don't feel embarrassed. I've taught my class to be more sympathetic, so when a child is sharing their answer and they make a mistake, instead of shouting, "No, you're wrong," my class will say, which gives the child who's sharing their answer another opportunity to reconsider. I've adopted this growth mindset approach through what I've seen on placement. It's always useful to have a whiteboard next to the interactive screen so I can model my working out. The University of Worcester equipped me with loads of strategies for managing behaviour and minimising distractions during lessons. When I want to bring the children's attention back to me for more input, I either use call and response claps, countdowns, or I ask the children to show me their empty hands. Reward systems such as a zone board are excellent for promoting positive behaviour. Being able to give children the confidence to come up to the front and share their answers makes me very proud. Transitions between lessons can be quite chaotic, but I find giving children clear instructions really helps. Pop your trainers on if you've got them. If you don't have trainers, don't panic. Break time is the perfect time for a quick cup of tea and a spot of marking. I can usually mark a table of books, as well as checking my emails for any urgent messages. I find chipping away at marking throughout the day is the best strategy so you're not overloaded with a mountain of marking at the end of the day. I spend a few moments catching up on the outside world and replying to messages from my friends. My TC ornaments were given to me by my second placement class, decorated with their thumbprints so I'd always remember them. English is one of my favourite subjects. I think it's because it's a lot more open-ended and there's no right or wrong. Seeing young writers flourish as their vocabulary develops is amazing to watch. By writing children's ideas upon the board, it encourages their enthusiasm and participation in lessons. Hands-on learning has a real place in the classroom. Not every English lesson involves copious amounts of writing. It's more about the child's understanding and whether they remember the lesson. We have leaves. We don't have loaves of bread, we have loaves. My colleague Rumi is a great friend to spend time with at lunchtime. She's been a huge support system to me throughout the year, and we always laugh about something that's happened during the day. Having a supportive colleague like Rumi has been invaluable to my own growth as a newly qualified teacher. Now, a year on, I'll be offering the same mentoring to the newly qualified teachers starting in September.
So you can imagine. It was just one I did. Definitely going to do it with them and have a go at it. It'd be really nice to get it on the vision line.
I decided to spend more time marking this lunchtime, which I choose to do occasionally because I like to tick things off my to-do list. Some lunchtimes I've run an art club, played in a staff netball match, or just hung out in the staff room catching up with the other teachers. It's time to set up for the art lesson. Getting resources ready just before lunch finishes means ease of transition into the lesson after the register. I'm passionate about art and I really love this opportunity to help children develop their own artistic flair. I come from a family of art lovers and I remember my granddad, who is a very talented hobbyist painter, sitting me down at an easel and encouraging my creativity. After studying fine art at GCSE and A-level, it's great to be able to revisit and pass on those fundamental techniques. Setup only takes a few minutes if you know where everything is. The more you can prepare, the quicker it is for children to get on task. I like to make sure that children don't have to wander around looking for equipment and possibly getting distracted by other things. The children are back from lunch and once registered, it's time to settle them down after a fun-filled playground adventure. I start by explaining what the lesson entails before showing the children what they are aiming to recreate. I find that showing them what I have personally painted helps to boost their enthusiasm for the lesson ahead. Knowing how I looked up to my teachers, I try my best to be a positive role model, and I've already seen the impact I've had, especially at moments like these. I enjoy using the visualizer, which projects my desktop onto the interactive screen, so it's easier to demonstrate to the class the steps of the lesson. During lessons like these, I like to play calming music, which helps to keep the children focused. The children enjoy any opportunity to do something practical, and to most, an art lesson can be seen as recreation. Their favourite activities this year have been cooking their own Chinese food, sculpting clay, and watching a model volcano erupt. Obviously, I love taking part as well. On the whole, the behaviour of our children at school is excellent, and I employ a few other strategies learnt at university and on placement to continue this. As with most lessons, one-to-one time with a pupil is extremely valuable, especially when a particular child needs assistance with their technique. As the class gets on with their artwork, having a one-to-one can have a positive effect with some personalised learning.
How gentle I want you to be. Yeah, right. You can blend it away, the whole thing. Now,
People have an idea of art lessons being messy and requiring a lot of cleaning up. However, this is not always the case. With good instruction, the children can be very sensible when using water and paint. They even enjoy clearing up afterwards. In groups, I get the children to bring their work to the front to dry, which allows them to see how others have done.
stacked on top of each other. Not too far over.
It gives me great joy seeing their artwork together, and does make me feel very proud knowing I have helped them to create their own masterpiece.
What is it, Max?
I was introduced to Go Noodle while on placement. It's a fantastic free website with different videos to meet every purpose, such as energising children through dance or refocusing them in meditation. I can't resist joining in, especially when I see how much fun they're having. The children go to assembly on Monday, Wednesday and Friday afternoons. On Friday, I enjoy watching children at our school get rewarded for their successes, especially when it's my own pupils. After assembly, the children get their things ready for home time. As my school has a large amount of pupils, we have 2 different exits. I take children to one and my colleague takes the other. I try to make it apparent how excited I am to see them again tomorrow, to get them excited for the next day. I can't help but smile at the musical and funny ways they say goodbye. To me, that would indicate that they've had a great day. Once they're gone, I tidy up the carpet ready for my cleaner. Now it's quiet, and if I don't have a staff meeting, I take the time to tick some more marking off my to-do list. I try to mark the final books before I leave school, but sometimes I prefer to take them home and put my feet up while I mark. To me, workload is determined by your ability to prioritise what needs to be done urgently and what can wait. As a teacher, it's important to remember that you'll never have an empty to-do list, and that's okay. I give my desk a quick tidy and pack my bag with some books to finish marking. Trust me, because the books are so thick, it looks much worse than it really is. Time flies when your day is packed with so many activities, and I always feel a huge sense of achievement at the end of every day. One of my favourite quotes is, "As a teacher in the future, my money or my possessions will not matter, because I was important in the life of a child."